What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHE TV, and I'm talking about the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth, the FX Star original TV show set in the Alien universe. Weirdly, I feel similarly about Alien as a franchise as I do Dexter, which has also come back recently, where we've seen so many different iterations, so many styles and level of camp. I'm just kind of curious to see, well, where are we going to go next? What can we even do anymore? And while I didn't love these first 2 episodes, they're about an hour each, so we have, or might as well be, a 2-hour movie's worth of story here to talk about. And one of the things that convinced me to start this especially was knowing the showrunner is the same writer-creator of Fargo, another show spin-off of a movie which managed to find its own identity. And I've seen, I think, 4 of the 5 existing seasons of that show, and some are better than others, but it had some really fun character writing in there. And I've heard good things about Legion too. So with that in mind, I thought maybe you can do something with Alien. So I am just going to talk spoilers from here, so you've been warned. But honestly, there's not too much you can spoil. As I say, this is only 2 of 8 episodes. So I like the framing straight away. The opening text was cool, giving a bit of world building, some lore. They set up that there's 4 or 5 companies that rule the universe, I guess. I do think the production design is good. It's not quite to the point of something like a Romulus recently, which has the look that I'm after, but not the story or characters to back it up. And this kind of has the inverse problem for me, where the story's kind of interesting. I just wish there was something a bit grittier or scratchier about the way they're presenting these admittedly impressive, quite big scale sets. I guess I've just been spoiled with things like Andor recently. So seeing as this character is on screen, I'm just gonna go to the weird stuff. Like I laughed out loud when I figured out what they were doing with this character and the other characters around her. So every Alien story has to have a number of things, right? The checklist of things. It's got to have its female protagonist, it's got to have the scary alien scenes, but it's also got to have the big corpo bad guy, mustache-twirling CEO type character. So in this one, the main bad guy is this dude that's invented the technology that can put children's minds into a synth body, because I guess that's something that hasn't been done in this universe before. I wouldn't know. There's quite a clunky exposition scene where they're explaining this new law. So basically this guy gathers a bunch of sick children around 10 to 12 years old and transfers their consciousness into an indestructible synth superhero body, for what it's worth. When they're showing off the synth powers, it's quite corny. Jumping off this cliffside and doing the stereotypical superhero landing, and then running 30 miles an hour down a beach. It's pretty goofy. I did struggle throughout these 2 episodes to kind of figure out what tone they want to go for, because they've got these needle drops that imply something a bit more comedic or self-aware, but then it does seem to take itself really seriously at times too, which is fine, but then you're questioning some of the goofier stuff, like how the whole ship crashing into Earth set piece even happens. Like, no one knew that was coming. They couldn't scan that in any way, or I don't know how that was like a surprise attack, I guess. It does move extremely fast in that first episode. It kind of turns into a few mini vignettes, a fast-forwarded version of the original Alien movie included for maybe the first half, which kind of surprised me. I really thought they were going to string out how long it was going to take to have aliens running around murdering people. But you get that crazy quick. The ship that crashes into Earth and makes the title happen is some very Resident Evil Yutani transport ship, and it's transporting rare species of life form. So of course that's the one that goes wrong. Gives you an excuse to have some new creatures, and obviously the major excuse of bringing aliens to Earth. So yeah, I was laughing at this whole idea of, say, you've gone this roundabout way, so you can effectively have the minds of children being confronted by the alien from Alien, which is quite comedically dark. An interesting way to get around censors, I guess. But then it does leave me wondering, is it that macabre? Are they trying to go for a audience of this kind of age range? I guess with the first 2 episodes, you don't really see them in peril quite yet. It was mostly just exposition explaining why these baby-brained adults were sent into this war zone to begin with. I guess that's the nature of when you're going through something so fast, having pacing that quick, running through, so you can get to the title. A bunch of it can be be really stupid. So this baby-brained woman, I'm not being mean, like the character I think is 12 or 13 that is put into this robot body. So it's a very Poor Things situation with Sydney Chandler playing this character, Wendy. And Wendy, I guess, is a reference to Peter Pan, which is an ongoing theme that you have to notice. I like using these classic stories to flesh out a theme or foreshadow something, but it's pretty garish the way they do it in this. Nothing much subtle about it. It's also funny, I just learned she is the daughter of Kyle Chandler. Remember him? I thought something about her looked familiar, but she's fine. It doesn't have the absurdist tone like a Poor Things, so writing these 13-year-olds in the bodies of adults is a bit of a different thing to sell. I mentioned this villainous CEO type character. Still not really sold on him. They go hard on the idiosyncrasies to try and make him kind of quirky. Maybe he gets more depth as the show goes on, but I wasn't loving his presence. Unlike Alex Lawther, who I thought was quite a good character, he is Wendy's brother who didn't know that she was put into the body of an adult. He thought she died as a 13-year-old, so he has to grapple with that existential crisis, I guess. Now he has a new old sister who has the old consciousness in like a new body. And the fact they reveal that as well was like, wow, you're really just speeding through this, huh? You're on a speed run right now. This Morrow character was kind of the perspective character that you go through the Alien 1 set piece. He's hiding in the room with Mother as everyone gets murdered by an alien. You know, it's familiar stuff, we've seen it before. Timothy Oliphant also plays a synth. He kind of leads the army of baby-brained robo people. I can't remember if I mentioned that the reason they have to be baby-brained in the lore is they say that their brains are more moldable. I think the exact way they have this character say it is when talking about adult minds, their minds are too stiff. There's this particular shot that's been going around of Ice Age. You're not allowed to like screenshot or record anything on Disney Plus, and it's, I guess, only on there. But I managed to find the screenshot that I'm talking about. This is like a real, unedited, this is how it's intentionally framed. It's supposed to do this. Because a scene from, I think it's Ice Age 4, is reincorporated 2 or 3 times throughout these 2 episodes, which kind of like the Peter Pan stuff is kind of funny on its face, but it's also like, these are all Disney products as well, and this is all on Disney Plus. So I don't know if I'm overthinking that, but it is funny that Ice Age is now canonically in the Alien universe. They do a bunch of these action shots of the camera flying through hallways, which I don't know if that's referencing an alien thing in particular. It was more making me think of like Evil Dead or something that frantic. So I couldn't read quite how much corny they wanted that kind of stuff to come across as. So not only do you get a few xenomorph scenes, there are also other little creatures that were in the stowaway specimen ship. There's a gross out scene with a cat that has this octopus eye thing embedded in its skull, which was so over the top and corny. The corny dial seems to be where this has fallen for me more so. It's just such a strange idea with the like child soldier robot children being sent in like, to deal with an alien. All of these people have 10-year-olds' brains. What are you possibly going to do with that? So a big swing, we'll see if it misses. Maybe it will settle into a tone, or some more story hooks will come into play. But I'm still sitting trepidatious at this. I'm not going to rush back. But we'll definitely report once all the episodes are out. So those are my general thoughts on, that's a funny poster, on the first 2 episodes. Hopefully it gets better. Let me know your thoughts. You're going to check this out. I'll see you on the next vid. Bye.